second big premiere of a blockbuster this week. This one is King Arthur before he's a king. There's no Camelot, there's no love triangle between Lancelot, Guinevere and Arthur. In fact, Merlin isn't even a wizard. This is something they are billing as the true story behind the legend. And as we know, Hollywood's reworking of myth and historical tale and legend is almost legendary in itself. This is of that ilk. It's Jerry Bruckheimer is the producer. He is a US Uber producer. He's the man behind Pirates of the Caribbean, Black Hawk Down. And he got behind this tale. It's shot almost entirely on location in Ireland, using UK crew, UK actors, European actors. Hardly any US input, actually, apart from the fact, obviously, that it's US money and a big US producer. That's obviously a good thing for the British film industry, but what some people are saying is that it is a reworking a little bit too far of this movie. Now, it stars Clive Owen, obviously one of our big stars, not necessarily a Hollywood star, though. He hasn't done that many Hollywood movies. And Keira Knightley is Guinevere. She is really turning out to be the breakout star of 2004. She was in loads and loads of movies last year. She's having a great career.
That's Tamsin Sylvester on the red carpet. Marie-Claire Dorking of Company Magazine joins me live now. Marie-Claire, thanks for being with us. What's the film like? Is it any good?
Yes, apparently it's brilliant. If it's anything to go by how they're receiving it in America, it's going to be a huge hit over here. I think at the moment in America it's the third biggest selling movie. That's just behind Superman 2, which has broken all the records. So I think they're pretty pleased with how much money it's taken at the first weekend. OK, let's take a quick look at a clip from the film now.
You betrayed me.
He means you no harm.
Feast between us this night, Arthur Gastus. So Rome is leaving. The Saxon is come. The world we have known and fought for is ended. Now we must make a new world.
Your world, Merlin, not mine.
It really does look like it is a who's who of young British talent, doesn't it, Marie-Claire?
Absolutely. Yes, as you said, Clive Owen, he's the star, he's Arthur. Keira Knightley, as we've mentioned. Ewan Griffith, who's also a really massive English star. So it really is kind of reads a who's who of British talent at the moment. But obviously Keira Knightley is being billed as the big star. But apparently she doesn't come into the movie until about an hour into it, which is interesting.
Well, she does, as you say, seem to be Hollywood's hottest property at the moment. We'll take a look at her in the film in just a few minutes. But do you think that this King Arthur movie is going to be the King Arthur that we know and love here in Britain?
No, actually, I think it's going to be a bit of a surprise to everyone because everybody obviously knows about the mythical tale, the kind of Merlin, that kind of angle. And this is meant to be a lot more serious, have a lot more historical facts, and not to be so mythical as we've seen it before. So I think it will be a bit of a surprise to some people. But it is getting rave reviews. It's kind of like a sort of Gladiator meets Excalibur type thing. So it is doing really well.
What about Guinevere herself? She's no shrinking maiden in this movie, is she? Absolutely
not. And Keira herself has been out there promoting the feisty part that she plays. She said she's out there doing it for women, and it is. She doesn't play her typical English Rose part that we're kind of used to seeing her in. And she is actually a warrior in the film as well. So we will see her in some fighting scenes, which will again be interesting to see.
In fact, I think we've got a clip of her now. Let's take a look if we can. Keira Knightley as Guinevere. Oh, unfortunately, I've been told we don't actually have that clip at the moment. We have to wait for that squash-buckling clip of Keira Knightley. It's a US-produced film, isn't it? The producer's American, but it does seem... And the money is American.
Absolutely.
But it does seem to be one of those rare things, a British film.
That's right, it is really Brit-based, and as I say, it was shot in Ireland, and it's the most expensive film ever made in Ireland, so a lot of it is British money, British cast, as you say, and also British crew, so it really is, although it's produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, who's a very, very famous American producer, a lot of it has been based over in Ireland, and a lot of the talent is British, so it's really good for the British film industry, I think.
Do you think it might be a breakout movie for some of these British stars? People like Clive Owen, for instance. He's dabbled in Hollywood, but he's not made the big time yet. Keira Knightley, of course, we know her from Bend It Like Beckham, don't we? Do you think this might be a film that could actually raise their profiles to Hollywood status?
Absolutely, I think it will, because as I say, it's a summer blockbuster, so the schools are out, everyone's going to be going, everybody's going to be seeing it, and Clive Owen, as you say, hasn't really done a Hollywood blockbuster before. He's been in The Croupier, which was a quite well received British film, and we've seen him on our TV screens. I think he started off in Chancellor, and he's done lots of period dramas, and he's done a lot of theatre, so this really could be the film for him that's going to break him into the Hollywood big time. Also, he's been sort of linked to the James Bond role, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, whether this is the film that will kind of leap him into that role. And as for Keira Knightley, she's got films backed up one after the other. I mean, she's signed up to do Pirates of the Caribbean 2. Of course, Pirates of the Caribbean 1 was such a massive film for her last year, alongside Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom, and she was fantastic in that role. She's also got another film with Adrian Brody, which is called The Jacket, in which she plays an alcoholic waitress, so that's going to be a really different role for her. And she's also been linked to Jurassic Park 4, so she's literally Hollywood's hottest property at the moment. I mean, she's still only 19 years old, so it's amazing to think. And she's been sort of compared to the US version, which is Scarlett Johansson, so she's going to be brilliant, I think.
I think she is. Marie-Claire Dorking from Company Magazine, great to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for your insight tonight.